Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 10 of Red-Rupee cast. This is going to be the last episode in the little series I was calling my practice casts. I was trying to get a few casts out of the way, get some experience with my talking and a little bit of strategic analysis there before I posted these around the various forums and community sites to get people watching these. So this will be the last one in that field. I've got a little treat for you. I'm going to do what I'd say is a meet your caster kind of deal today. I've got a game featuring yours truly as our Space Marine, Tech Marine, and a Space Marine mirror today. If you've ever watched, old Kung Fu movies or, even the Matrix movies, I think the line was used, you always hear an old Chinese man say something along the lines of, "You never truly know a man until you have fought him in battle." So I'm going to give you guys what I think is the next best thing and let you watch someone else fight me while I analyze this game. This was a pretty good game. It was one of my first games back into the solo ladder. Since pretty much Retribution, I've been sticking to 2s and 3s. I consider myself a mid-range player, maybe mid-high range player, I'd like to think. Please pardon me if I'm a bit rusty in this one, but I lost this one and I want to figure out why. If any of you guys are new to RTS or Dawn of War specifically even, you should know that if you lose a game and you're not sure why, it was a game you felt like you should have won, go ahead and watch that replay. Save that replay, figure out what you did, even post it on Game Replays or somewhere and ask for some advice from some more experienced players. But let's go ahead and get this started. You can see my opponent today is Cyris, playing as the Apothecary. He was a guy, cool guy I met recently on this ladder. So he turned out to be quite the opponent for me at this point in time, so this should prove to be quite a game. We're on Quest Heresy, of course. You got the 2 victory points over here, and power and another victory point, each on opposing far sides of the map. So Scout's going to be really crucial to getting those points. And you can see in the middle here several resource points right there in the middle. This middle choke point is great for Devastators, I feel. And I always like to get a Devastator on this map and really lock down that middle. So let's take a look. You can see the cap orders Cyris going for wreck right off the bat while I chose to get some power. And both players getting the second scout squad, which is pretty important for map control in a Space Marine mirror. You really need those second scouts. And I'm moving on into the middle of the map while you can see Cyris is moving a bit more towards the sides there and going for that outlier victory point over here on the right side. We're going to have our first little encounter here with my Tech Marine poking away at this Apothecary. Whenever you fight, an Apothecary, that's kind of what you want to do. You kind of want to get him out of the map as soon as possible. Otherwise, he's going to cause you all kinds of trouble keeping his tax on the field. You can always see him hanging out with his tax and assault Space Marines. And really, just his field presence is excellent. There it is. There's that perfect heal you want to see. Excellent heal. Right when you're about to lose a model, your attacks are at about half health. And that brought him right back up to full. You can see the Apothecary himself had to fall back. You probably should have kept him back maybe behind some green cover, and he could have kept him on the field longer for maybe a second heal later in this battle. But as you can see, he had to get forced off. He is forcing off my Tech Marine, but I was shooting at him with my tax, trying to get the advantage on what's going to be a tack-on-tack, fisticuffs battle right here. Just beating away at each other on that power armor. He will have to fall back. He could have stuck in for a while, probably would have lost a model though. And his scouts, meanwhile, are going to decap this center wreck point. But I am getting a model loss there. One little guy goes down. That gentleman is a bit worse for the wear, unfortunately. You can see he did manage to get back and kept this wreck point, so he's going to have a pretty good wreck advantage over me right now. You can see I have the 1 point to his 3, which are now almost fully matured all around. So, recognizing that, of course, I'm going to go ahead and try to take that down. Meanwhile, he does have a generator down before I've dropped any. So he's going to have a slight power advantage here. And trying to make that gap a little bigger, he's going to capture this outlying power. This is really good power to capture against a Space Marine player. Space Marine doesn't have an easy quick squad like Hormagaunts or Banshees to really send out here and break that node right off the bat if he decides to pop that node. Space Marine has to kind of, at least send some scouts and something else over there for quite a while if he doesn't have flamers to break that node. So a good point to keep. Most of the fighting happens here in the center. There's a sergeant on the field, a good grenade, forces me out of the cover. Now I'm taking full range damage, no reduction on that. Meanwhile, he's moving his tactical marines away from the Devastator here. You can see a bit of a mistake on my part, I feel, was moving out of this cover and not then taking refuge behind this. I could have moved my Devastator up a bit sooner there, but my attacks do get forced off. You can see his tacticals again getting suppressed. Not sure why he retreated there. I'm not sure if he didn't have the cooldown on his heal ready yet. But perhaps he just didn't want to lose that model, realizing that he had the upper hand here anyways. I did upgrade snipers at just a unfortunate time there, as I lost a couple of models. That's going to cost me some power. And he is going to force these Devastators off with a bit of forced melee here. Scout's not doing much in melee, but enough to keep me from setting up, and the Apothecary has meanwhile upgraded to his Mastercrafted Bolter, giving him some pretty decent range DPS. And forcing my Devastator back behind some cover. I have dropped my second generator, meanwhile he has 3, keeping his power advantage up here. And I'm probably going to get myself snipers on the second scout squad. I guess I haven't yet. But I always like that against Apothecary. Being able to drop a model with a couple sniper shots right off the bat always helps balance against his healing, I feel. But with that power investment on the scouts, I'm going to have to make sure I can get a gen bash in here somewhere and push him off the map. Fortunately, I was a little brazen with my tech marine, got him out of position there. You can see I don't have any other support nearby. That full auto really put a hurting on my tech marine. I do have now the Artificer armor, which increases his health regeneration quite a bit. And not laying any mines though. I really had the center point to myself for a while here. And I could have pushed in on this power farm with my tacticals and Devastator while he was over here on the side. But he does push me off, and a missed grenade there, unfortunately. He probably thought I was moving to the left side of that victory point, but the scouts opted for the other route out of there. And that grenade did not quite work out for him. You can see the scouts sequestered over here on their own lonesome side of the map here behind some green cover, but the tacticals are going to scare those off, I'm sure, and push them back. Meanwhile, I'm trying to subdue this tactical and scout push on my side of the map and capturing my victory point and attempting to get that requisition, but ultimately getting pushed off by the snipers. Don't want to lose any models unnecessarily. Tax are certainly expensive, and with the Apothecary you can really minimize those losses, so no point to leave them out there unnecessarily. There's the heal on the tax, of course. And I could have been moving my Devastator up meanwhile, especially since I'm pushing up for this power. If I had cut off this section of the map right here, he wouldn't have been able to support this, and I would have had a free power bash on my hands. So again, you can see my scout snipers give me a hand with these tactical marines. The Apothecary needs to get a heal in there. I think he used it recently, so maybe it wasn't up and he lost a model. Oh, and a sniper scout takes out the second. That worked out pretty well for me there. My Devastator, I finally moved up into position. Cyris responding with his own Devastator right now. And I'm hoping to move in. It looks like I'm going to get a pretty decent generator bash right here. The scouts moving in. Oh, here comes a grenade. I do see it. Luckily get out of there. You kind of want to save those grenades if you can for when your opponent's micro is split elsewhere, so you can get some solid kills and hopefully catch your opponent off guard with a quick grenade. Maybe he was just buying time to get his Devastator in position to save these generators. But I am going to go ahead and burn those right off the ground here. And you can see, ultimately though, Cyris ahead in the tech, going ahead and getting himself a Librarian, while I'm just now pushing tier 2. He's had really ideal map control, really forcing the encounters where he wants to have them before just now on the generator farm by taking victory points all around the map. You can see he's already got a solid 150 victory point bonus here over me, and he's going to do his best to keep that going. Got my Devastator back here, but it's probably not going to be able to hold against all this, especially with the scouts could have been used to flank here. I'm not sure why I fell back immediately there. Probably could have held out, but I just didn't want those scouts getting in and getting a grenade off on the Devastator squad. So I fall back probably a bit prematurely on that, and he's just moving in a big pile to push me off the map here. and gonna set up and return the favor for that generator bash. Not really too much I can do about that until I get back out here.